Let me show you something most people never see coming. After age 30, your body starts a silent count, not a dramatic cliff, a slow erosion that steals your strength, your energy, and eventually your independence. 3 to 8% of your muscle mass disappears every decade. After 50, you're losing 1.5 to 3% of your strength every single year. Your bones thin, your metabolism slows, your hormones crash, and the whole time your risk of cognitive decline is doubling if you're weak. And here's the part nobody talks about. 25 to 45% of seniors lose their independence, not because of some freak accident, because their bodies weren't strong enough to keep up. By 80, up to 40% of your muscle mass is gone. This isn't a possibility, it's biology. The only question is, what are you doing about it right now? So, if this is what's happening to everyone, what does the research say actually works? Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I'm not 80. I've got time. Let me show you why this is the most dangerous thought you can have. If you're 47, you've already lost up to 24% of your peak mass. Your testosterone is down 25 to 30% from where it was at 25. And here's the critical part. The next 3 years will determine whether your entire 50s are strong or struggling. At 40, the erosion is happening. At 47, it's accelerating. By 55, it doubles. This isn't something that is happening someday. This is happening right now. The window to reverse this is open, but every year you wait, the climb gets steeper. The question isn't whether you can afford to do something about it. The question is whether you can afford not to. So let's look at what the research says about what actually predicts whether you live or die. Now let's talk about what the science actually says, because this isn't my opinion. This is what happens when you study hundreds of thousands of people over decades. Grip strength. It sounds simple, right? Squeeze the device, get a number, but that number predicts whether you live or die better than blood pressure. 67% higher risk of early death if your grip is weak. That's from 42 separate studies. 14,000 adults over 17 countries. The Pure study, published in The Lancet, found that grip strength is a better predictor of mortality than blood pressure. Think about that. Your doctor checks your blood pressure every visit. When was the last time anyone measured your grip? And it's not just about how strong you are. It's also about how much muscle you carry. The weakest group in a 10-year Korean study had 2.5 times the mortality rate of the strongest group. Here's the most important line in this slide. Strength predicts mortality independently of muscle mass. You can have decent muscle and still be at risk if you're not strong. That's why the strength laboratory trains strength first, because that's what keeps you alive. So, if strength is the #1 predictor of longevity, why are most people spending their time on activities that don't build it? So now we know that strength is the single best predictor of how long you'll live and how well you'll live. So let me ask you something. What are most people over 40 doing for exercise? Walking, yoga, cycling, stretching, maybe some light jogging. And here's the problem with all of it. Cardiovascular exercise alone does not build muscle, period. UT Southwestern, a world-class medical institution, specifically states that many seniors focus on cardiovascular exercise when it's less effective at maintaining muscle mass. Aerobic training without resistance training can actually decrease your lean body mass. You're getting thinner and weaker. And stretching, John Hopkins says flexibility doesn't contribute directly to heart health. A meta-analysis of 55 studies found that resistance training improves flexibility as effectively as stretching alone. So you're spending time stretching when you could be building strength and getting the same flexibility gains. Look at all those red X marks. Every single one represents time spent on activities that don't build the thing that keeps you alive. The question isn't whether cardio and stretching are bad. They're fine as supplements. The question is, why would you lead with them? Now, let me show you what strength training actually does, because it does more than you think. Strength does it all. We just destroyed cardio and stretching as standalone strategies. Now let me show you something that might surprise you. Strength training doesn't just build strength, it builds everything. The American Heart Association, the AHA, says resistance training is safe and effective for improving cardiovascular health. Iowa State found a 55% reduction in total CVD risk with resistance exercise. Men aged 70 to 80 saw significant cardiovascular improvement from just 16 weeks of strength training. And for flexibility, remember those 55 studies I mentioned? They found no significant difference between resistance training and stretching for improving flexibility. In fact, high-intensity resistance training produced even greater flexibility gains. So, you get flexibility as a bonus. You don't need a separate stretching session. And for stretching and longevity, here's the bonus crown jewel. 30 to 60 minutes per week. That's all it takes for a 17% reduction in all cause of mortality. 18% reduction in cardiovascular disease, 9% reduction in cancer risk. Resistance training is the only activity proven to slow sarcopenia. Green check marks everywhere. Strength training gives you the cardiovascular benefits, the flexibility benefits, and the longevity benefits. It's not an either or, it's an everything in one. So we know strength training is the answer, but here's where the Strength Laboratory is different from every other gym, every trainer, every program you've ever tried. We don't guess, we measure. The longevity analysis is a 600-point assessment, 6 biomarkers, each scored on a 100-point scale. Strength, muscle mass, cardiovascular, mobility, body composition, recovery. Each one gets an A, B, C, or D grade. Think about it like a medical panel for your physical independence. Your doctor runs blood work. We run a longevity analysis. When you walk into the Strength Laboratory, you don't just get a workout. You get a score that tells you exactly where your body is strong and where it's weak, and what is accelerating your decline. Grade thresholds are A is 90, B is 75 to 89, C is 50 to 74, and D is below 50. Overall, out of 600, A is 540, B 450, C is 300, and D is below 300. So we've seen the problem, we've seen the research. Now let me introduce you to the system that actually reverses it. The Strength Laboratory is trainer-led and data-driven. Your trainer is with you every session. They know your body, your limitations, and your goals. What makes the Strength Laboratory different is that your trainer has real-time data, velocity tracking on every single rep, so they can adjust the resistance to your output in the moment. We use something called the maximally effective reps framework. Maximally effective reps. Every rep you do at the Strength Laboratory produces a measurable training effect. There's no junk, no filler. Our 6-method system uses concurrent periodization, meaning we train with multiple qualities throughout the week, simultaneously developing every single energy system in your body. Whatever you're not training is dying. At the Strength Laboratory, nothing gets left behind. And we do this primarily with machines, not barbells. Joint safe, targeted, perfect for adults 40 to 70. Everything ties back to your 600-point longevity score. Every quarter, we reassess your biomarker. We don't just tell you you're making progress, we prove it with real data. Strength is your insurance policy to independence. That's not a slogan. That's a biological fact. Here's exactly how the system works. Step by step. Step 1. We assess. First, we assess all 6 biomarkers. We establish your baseline score at a 600. Think of this as a snapshot of your biological age. Step 2, we identify where the problems are. If you score a D in strength, but a B in cardiovascular, that tells us your body is declining where it matters most. Step 3, we prescribe. Based on your specific deficits, we build your protocol using our 6-method system. This isn't a cookie cutter program. Step 4, we reverse. Every quarter, we reassess. As your scores climb towards 600, your biological age reverses. This isn't a feeling, it's data. Your score today determines your independence tomorrow. Now, a lot of people who walk through our doors need to lose fat. And the truth is, you can't out-train a bad diet. Training builds the muscle, nutrition strips the fat. You need both working together. Every program includes personalized nutrition planning powered by .fit. Step 1, we analyze your body composition from your longevity assessment and calculate your precise calorie and macro targets. Not some generic calculator, your numbers based on your body. Step 2, we build meal plans around the foods you actually like to eat. 8 different lifestyle options, daily meals, quick prep for when you're busy, Mediterranean, low carb, night out options because you still have a life, fast food because life happens, meal prep for the planners, family dinners so your whole household can eat the same thing. We're not giving you a restrictive diet you'll quit in 2 weeks. We're giving you a sustainable system that works with your life. Step 3, evidence-based supplements. Creatine proven for both strength and cognitive benefits, which matters a lot for this demographic, caffeine optimization, protein timing, and if your nutritional analysis shows deficiencies, we correct them. Most of our clients need body recomposition, losing fat while building muscle at the same time. That's not easy to do, but our system is specifically optimized for it. As your body changes, your nutrition plan changes with it. This isn't an afterthought. This is the other half of the equation. Training, plus nutrition plus supplementation. That's the complete picture. Now let's show you what happens when the complete system is working. I've shown you the science. I've shown you the data. I've shown you the result. Now let me tell you what you're really buying. You're not buying a gym membership. You're not buying personal training sessions. What you're actually buying is freedom. The ability to do what you want, when you want, without your body saying no. You're buying confidence. The knowledge that your best years aren't behind you. Energy, the kind that lasts all day. The deep, physical, I could do this all day kind that comes from being strong and having a strong body. You're buying proof. Real numbers, real data, a 600-point score that goes up every quarter. You're not buying training. You're buying the version of yourself that refuses to decline, the version of yourself that refuses to quit. We started with a simple fact. After 30, your body is on a clock. Muscle loss, strength loss, bone loss, hormone decline, and eventually loss of independence. We showed you the research. Grip strength predicts mortality better than blood pressure. The weak die first. This is an opinion, it's biology. We've showed you that the one activity that builds strength, improves cardiovascular health, and increases flexibility is resistance training, and most people aren't doing it. We showed you our system, 600-point longevity assessment, 6 methods training, real-time velocity tracking, and quarterly reassessments that prove the reversal. We showed you that we're so confident in the system that we guarantee your results. The window is open, but every year you wait, the climb gets steeper. Take your longevity assessment, find out your score, find out where you stand, and find out what's possible when you have the right system, the right data, the right team behind you. Strength is your insurance policy to independence. Let's find out where yours stands. I have assessment slots available this week. Who wants to find out their score? Visit thestrengthlaboratory.com to schedule your longevity assessment today.